November 16th, 2013, continuing campaign. All right, let's get caught up with Dr. Huxtable first.
Yeah.
He came back from Caring Cross, that awful town with that horrible police officer. Mm-hmm. And then you wrote that story. Oh, no. The last thing that you did was Pendergast at the end of, so it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. And I was knocked out when they saw the god, so I have no idea what was going on.
You're lucky, you're smart. So you did find out about Manfred. To bring you up to date, Natalia Polochev visited you in your office at work.
Here she comes.
Oh, nice, cool.
Boo! Speaking of...
Hello. Is Bo here too? Yeah. Okay. We just got started. I was filling in Dr. Huxtable on some of his stuff. Natalia Polochev visited you in your office on November 11th. It was last Wednesday. And you didn't really recognize her because Dr. Huxtable doesn't pay attention to people that much.
Not much.
I played him for you, and he's like, "Oh yes, you were that woman that was a hairdresser or something, right?" She's apparently working in the library at Brown University now.
Yeah, I think the only people I actually kind of like got to know as far as like I would recognize them was you,
Bertelli, he's
because
gone.
he was following me around, and then sort of Manfred.
Yes, Manfred. Okay. So she came to ask you about Manfred, and I had you put her off and say, "Here, talk to this police officer." And you sent her to Bridges. And then she was unable to get a hold of you after that. You were busy working on your next story for Retailers Magazine or wherever we got you published last time. So that was a week ago. Mm-hmm. Natalie, you ended up staying in Greenwood on the night of Wednesday the 17th. I got it written down here. Tuesday the 17th.
I don't even remember when was it.
We'll do a recap here. Don't worry. I'm gonna be like, okay, so what are you doing?
What are you doing right now?
What are you doing? Okay.
And also, I'm known by Natalie Porter.
Right, Natalie. Sorry, but he would remember you sort of as.
Well, if you didn't remember.
I named you as Natalia, but yeah, she said her name was Natalie, and you were like, okay, well, oh wait, that's a hairdresser or makeup artist. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she visited you. We're going to recap you first, but you're already in town and ready to go do your thing. So you went to Greenwood last night. Manfred has been moved to a place called Home Sanitarium. Pendergast put him up there because it's like the best place in the area. Mm-hmm. And so he's footing the bill and everything for Manfred because he feels really bad. And he would have told you about this at some point. And then Natalie went up there. You started investigating after you saw that child that was... Are you cold? Because I can turn the heat up. Or I can throw that... You can have that sweater over there, too. It's very big and very comfy.
Is anyone else cold?
If you're cold...
I am sitting in a leather jacket.
Yeah,
I can turn the heat back on. I had it on for a while. So you went up there, that kid that was locked up in the cell who was ball gagged. Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I was just wearing that a little while ago. It's probably still warm, but it's a real nice sweater. I like it.
Okay. I even wore a sweater, but...
The kid he was gagged and he was bound in a straitjacket. You found that suspicious. You started doing some research. You found that Dr. Fragan is kind of suspect in this town. People don't trust. People don't talk about him. He started dealing with those squatters. Remember the squatters up on Stonecrest Hill? You found out about them. They're some kind of... They come in town and they bully people. Yes, exactly.
Never trusted
You learned about Stonecrest Hill. There's an old monument up there. The forefathers had come down from Pennsylvania or someplace. And then John found this. He found this write-up from the War of 1812 about the British soldiers that found this town, and these people could cast spells. It read like they were casting some kind of weird spells, and they summoned up some awful monster. And then when the British went back, the town, I believe, had been abandoned. Or they drove them out. I can't remember which one it says on there. You found all this information out that all seems kind of relevant to what's going on, or at least that stuck out as being very strange. You spent the night, you and John McKeith ended up getting 2 rooms at the boarding house on the night of Tuesday the 17th of November. And you were planning next morning to go talk to the doctor that the cop tried to talk to but wasn't able to get any information out of because he didn't have a warrant.
Yeah.
But you're a fellow doctor, or you can pose as a fellow doctor. Well, you are a fellow doctor. So you can potentially get the information. You guys also you also talked to God Bespoke Johnson, the preacher, the corner preacher, who is kind of crazy, and who talked about his friend Bowen, who got taken by Satan. He was saved. You remember that? Somebody talked to him.
Yeah, then we
It's been a month, so.
threw him at you and he tried to convert you.
Yeah, that's right.
So that crazy guy who was preaching outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So crazy preacher guy, and so he saw something apparently in the woods somewhere nearby. You talked to the police constable in town, the chief of police, who had his suspicions of Dr. Fragan and the fact that there might be some kind of that he was connected with moonshiners, and there were lots of trucks that went back and forth from the asylum for some reason. But they didn't have any proof, they didn't have anything they could work on. You also asked about the deaths. There were several deaths in the last few months. And you asked about that, and the officer seemed to indicate it was kind of suspicious, but they didn't have any kind of proof to go with. And I think that was pretty much everything that you guys did. You also got a tour of the asylum. So there's a map that you can kind of look at, and you can let me know if you have any questions about it. That's pretty much the asylum grounds and building.
So we went to all floors, right?
Yeah, he showed you the entire building. There was like
And
a few
was-
doors that would look like linen closets and stuff. That's the only things that he didn't actually open up for you.
And which floor had the special cases?
It was these cells back here are the special cases. Visiting room. These are like orderlies' wards or orderlies' rooms. This is the regular ward. Manfred is in C11. Manfred's in C11.
Right.
Boom. So he's got that cell down there. Down here were offices. Down here was the dining area and that kind of stuff. There was that one room, the meeting room, that you saw that weird statuette in the corner. Down here is Dr. Fragan's personal quarters. The basement areas had his lab. He showed you his lab where he's got all kinds of chemical equipment because he was focusing on chemical causes of madness or the or way to cure madness through chemistry. Cool room, storage room. This was like a work room. There was all kinds of tools and junk in there. Garage. So that's what you've seen.
I haven't seen the garage though.
No,
Yeah,
he didn't show you the garage though. So you assume there might be a car or an ambulance or something up there. She came and visited you on the 11th, and you blew her off. It's now going to be the 18th. It's a week later. You haven't heard anything from her. You can decide how you want to react to that, or if you want to react to that. We'll get you involved here in a minute. If not, we're going to get Officer Bridges here to come visit you or something in order to kind of drag you into this kicking and screaming.
I could just go visit Manfred.
You could. You could visit Manfred.
You remember Manfred?
Yeah.
Manfred is one of the ones he said he actually connected with.
You remember
One of the few that he actually
Because it was
connected with.
weird.
He was dressed up like a spider and
He was very quiet.
Oh,
Oh,
comatose
spider.
on the ground.
I forgot about the spider.
It was
that
costume party.
No. It was great.
Manfred's being the sanitarium is called Home Sanitarium. It's like super high class, very expensive, but also very well known. It's in a town called Greenwood, which is 2 or 3 miles north of Providence, and it's on the rail line, so you don't have to drive if you don't want to. You can just take a train up. The town is small. It's about 500 people, so it's a small town, and then the sanitarium's on like the far end of it from the train station.
Well, tie me in as I'm going to see Manfred, but
Okay.
I'm not going to check on Manfred or care for Manfred. What I'm going is to get some information for my next article.
Oh, okay.
See if I can ask him what he saw.
Okay. He was catatonic the last time you saw him. He was just
Yeah.
like staring into the infinite void of space. Okay. So you're going to take the train up that morning.
Yep.
You spot Officer Bridges on the train because you were going to go back that morning, weren't you? And you were taking the train up, weren't you? Because that's how you got home last time.
Yeah.
And you recognize him. You recognize him. You recognize Dr. Huxtable, the guy from that party who got really wasted.
That's right.
Very drunk and was passed out when you guys did all the hard work, essentially.
It's not what my article says.
No, you're the hero in your story.
Nice.
I can't remember if that got published or not. I have to look that up. So you guys are on the train heading up, the commute up there. So do whatever.
Oh, Officer Bridges, so very nice to see you again.
Are you coming up to see me, Manfred?
Yes, I am working on my next piece. It will be the greatest literature ever written.
Oh my god.
It sounds pretty impressive.
Dr. Huxtable.
Oh, it will be. What brings you this way? Oh,
I'm investigating something strange going on up at that hospital.
more irregularities, I see. Perhaps you would need my assistance.
If you don't mind.
I mean, every story needs an Englishman involved, wouldn't you say? Oh!
That is true.
Yes, of course. Well, once I'm done writing my article, which should not take much time, when you have a brain such as mine, articles just come at ease. But I must see Manfred and ask him what he saw, because it did not affect me. I mean, you all thought I was passed out, but I saw it out of the crook of my eye. It was not very scary to me. But what was it again?
Conglomerate of shapes.
Yes, of course it was.
Pretty
Of
horrid.
course. This is exactly how I would have described it.
Writing down notes. Quickly jots that down.
But yes, of course, I might,
There's the
take a
notes.
gander on your quest and see if there's any riddles or puzzles you need solved.
Yeah, there's
Oh!
people in the hospital keep dying, it seems.
Oh, more death. So sad. Yes.
Okay, before he got back, you were planning on going to talk to the coroner, weren't you?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I just put something in my eye.
Uh-oh. With a knife.
I was gonna ask him about the deaths, right? Yes.
Yes, because Officer Bridges said that he went and talked to him the day before, and he wouldn't give him very much information.
Right.
Are you
Right.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Dr. Mike Hanover. He's in his office.
Yeah.
Here he is. There's Dr. Hanover. That's kind of what Dr. Huxtable seems to probably look like to me. Have you seen that thing?
That's me.
They're twins.
Yeah, he's got just a small little office. He's in there alone. He's apparently writing down something when you come in. You go, Jasmine, can I help you?
Yeah.
He smells of alcohol. You can smell it on his breath.
Isn't it like 8 in the morning? Isn't
Yeah.
that my appointment? Okay.
Yeah, you got there right in the beginning.
Flashback to poor Silversmith.
He doesn't seem drunk. He's probably just taking the edge off. It's awful cold out.
Good morning, Mr. Dr. Hanover. My name is Natalie Porter. I am a surgeon assistant in Providence as well. And I was coming to ask about if you had any information. We're doing some cumulative research on asylums across the eastern seaboard, and we noticed that this one had peculiarities in the last few months, like a rise in deaths.
Mm.
And I believe that the bodies came through your office.
Yeah, I'm the local coroner for Greenwood. Yeah.
We were just wondering if you happen to see anything unusual about is there a pattern with the deaths?
Nope.
So
You
they
a
were
doctor,
all-
you said?
Yes, sir.
You got some credentials you can show me?
I have my doctor's bag with me. I don't have my
You'd
papers.
have some, okay. You've got some ID if you want to have it. For Natalia.
Okay.
Polochev.
I might cover up the last name and just be like, see?
Uh-oh.
He's trying to get, well, hand it over!
I've lost it on more than one occasion when I've handed it. May I just hold it for you? Some people don't like have women doctors and the idea of it, so.
Leans way in. You smell the alcohol in his breath when he leans way in.
What kind of alcohol?
Alright.
So.
It smells like whiskey.
Okay.
Maybe moonshine. It's hard to tell. It's just a strong alcohol
He's gonna fight it over.
smell. He goes over to his filing cabinet and starts messing around. It takes him 5 to 10 minutes. And he's got 5 file folders, and he puts them down. And he goes, those are the ones that died in the last 2 months. I've also got some files for the ones that died over the last 4 years. Do you want to look at them? Do you want to look at them?
How many were there? There's only
There
a
was
couple.
4.
Right?
There were 4 in the last 4 years, and then in the last 5 months there's been 5.
That would be nice if you wouldn't mind, and I'll just.
He goes back over and starts fiddling with his filing cabinets.
I guess I'll look.
Yeah, he's more frumpy than angry. He's kind of like, well, look at the picture, man. The guy's
Yeah.
like,
And also, like I said, anybody.
yeah, he starts looking. The records of the recent deaths, the only cause of death is listed as a vague cardiovascular problems. There's no real cause of death noted. You know what I mean? It's very vague. Like, he couldn't find anything wrong, really. There's no real good reason for them to be
make him
dead.
suspicious at all.
Who? Well, sometimes people just drop dead.
But a pattern of just cardiovascular.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know. I mean, you'd have to talk to him about it. He returns with the other 4 after about 15 minutes. It took him a little longer to find those because they're kind of spread out. These have specific deaths, cause of death list on them. Old age, cancer, heart attack, and one is strangulation during an epileptic fit. In other words, his throat closed up. So, and those are all very cut and dried. You don't find anything suspicious in any of those 4.
All right. And you performed all of these autopsies, you said? You were present
Yes.
at least?
Yeah, that is correct.
Well, I am wondering, the ones over the last 4 years, those had very specific deaths and reasons for it, and it was very precise and detailed, whereas these last 5 seem very...
Well, I couldn't find anything more specific than what's written on those.
So basically, the notes that you made were that they died because their heart stopped, but if you die, your heart stops. So they may have died and then their heart stopped? That's what
There's
I can get from that.
legal evidence that there's anything wrong. Yeah, it looks very suspicious to me too. I suspect foul play, but unfortunately, there's no indications of any kind of poisons. There's no indications of anything unusual in the bloodstream. There's no indications of any physical trauma. There were, each of them just seemed to have a heart attack and die. It's the damnedest thing.
So there were scars around the heart to indicate a heart attack? So there was something...
No, not specific. That's why it's not listed as heart attack. That's as close as I can get to thinking that what it must have been. But all I can guess is that it was some kind of cardiovascular problems, because there was nothing wrong with any of these people as far as I can tell. That's why I'm suspicious. But there's nothing solid to go on. I've told the police constable, I've told White everything that I'm telling you right now. I can trust you, you're a doctor. But otherwise, that's as much detail as I can put in, because that's all I can find out. But there's no reason for them to have died. So, thus it doesn't go into the suspicious area of murder or homicide of any kind. At least that's according to White.
Have you had much personal contact with the director of the asylum?
Reagan? He don't like me.
Why is that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him very much. He seemed nicer in the early years when he got here, but recently he's been very standoffish. And he didn't want, he'd probably be upset that I was even sharing that information with anybody. But hell with him. I'm a doctor in these parts.
So, even though you both are medical institutions, you don't have any, monetary connection, you aren't supported by one another, he doesn't have reason to hide things from you?
He's got Dr. Strong up there. Seems a nice enough fella. Hired him a few years ago. 4 or 5.
So you get on with Dr. Strong enough?
He seems alright. I haven't talked to him too much.
Alright. I did hear some connection with, the strange things happening with people's bodies, the asylum, and Amanda's Rest. Are you familiar with Amanda's Rest?
Well, that's the boarding house, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, Amanda's Rest was where you stayed.
Oh, that's where I was staying.
Yeah, let's retro that out. You wouldn't have asked that question because
Yeah,
that's just where you stayed last night.
For some reason I thought, what's
That's
the name
okay.
of the
It's
hill?
been a month since we played.
What's
so.
that?
Oh,
Stonecrest Hill.
Stonecrest Hill. There you
Yes,
go.
thank
You can rephrase that. We'll back it up in a minute.
Okay.
So what did you want to ask him?
There has been some association with the asylum and Stonecrest Hill?
Fragan's done something with those damn squatters up there. They're a bunch of inbred hillbillies. White thinks that they're moving moonshine around, but he can't find any proof of it.
Do you know if
They won't let me work on him up there.
so he's offering treatment to them?
I don't think treatment. He was doing some paper or something. I don't remember.
A paper, like a report.
Well, it's to get published. But I've never seen any sign of it in any medical journal. And I do keep up. I might be a small town doctor. I mean, we're not Providence here, but I've worked about every baby that's been in this town, and I've certainly seen every other person that ever has lived here.
Have you heard of Arwasa? They seem to be having some connection with this Indian monument in the hill in the asylum, and I'm just wondering if he's getting into some weird stuff and practicing some on.
I couldn't tell you. I've never heard of Arwasa.
Alright.
Yeah, Arwasa. You're right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Dr. Hanover, that draws a blank with him.
All right. Well, I'll just copy down some of this information about the deaths, and then thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, and I will send a report back.
Well, you find out anything, you can tell me or talk to Mr. or Constable White.
Absolutely.
He takes the files back and just puts them on the top of the thing for now. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time, Doctor. Your
Oh,
work looks
you're
very
welcome.
well.
Then the door opens and this little old lady comes in. He says, "I'll be right with you, Mrs. Hannigan." Anything, and you're off. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go find these guys? You know they're coming back. You know that
We'll probably go get
Bridges is
breakfast.
supposed to come back. Okay, you go grab breakfast. You'll be able to meet them at the train station if you want. Or
Oh, I didn't know he was
Bridges.
coming?
Yeah, Bridges
Oh.
said he was coming back today. McKeith is in town somewhere, but you haven't seen him this morning. He's either sleeping in or you just missed him at the hotel.
And he's at the same place I am, right?
Yeah, he stayed at the same place that you did. At the
Amanda's
Amanda's
Rest.
Rest for $1 a night. When you go down to the train station, Bridges gets off the train and he's with Dr. Huxtable. Dun dun dun.
These trains are unbearable.
It was like a 15 or 20 minute.
Even better. They should make trains that are faster for the rich and famous like me. Private trains.
Dr. Huxtable?
Oh.
Visible?
Well, I heard him say that, and I always got annoyed with his pompousness. I was a doctor too.
Who said my name? How tall is your character?
Oh, good question. What's her size?
She's huge
13,
too.
no.
13? No, she's pretty average height. She's probably 5'10".
Oh, it was the other girl that was huge.
Bridges, keep my fans off me, please.
What a guy.
I'm going to turn to Mr. Bridges, but I'm going to hit you with my bag on accident. My doctor's bag that I have with me. As I turn.
Oh!
A
Not
violent
like
turn.
on purpose. not like
Oh!
hugely. Just not.
Right across the face.
It just bumps you.
No, but everything's a 10 for me. Oh!
My arm is broken right there.
Bridges, doctor. Ow.
I went to see the doctor. Dr.
Hanover, yes.
Yeah. I'm struggling with my American accent that I'm trying really hard to keep. So I'm talking weird because I don't know how to talk like a Russian who's trying to talk like an American.
Yeah, you can do me an idea. A no check.
Me
If you would like to, yes. That's your that's up in the upper right side.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
Jesus.
95.
That's right. Your guy's really smart, isn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's
based on
he's really
education?
educated. Yeah. It's,
Okay, do an idea check then. Sorry, make it an idea check. 'Cause it's not based on. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that one's based on intelligence.
Failed it.
You failed. Okay.
I don't have any ideas right now.
Not about this woman. That's what it was about.
Oh yeah, what's the guy's name? That
Dr.
Which guy?
no, the guy that died on the street right in front of the Godspeed
Bowen.
Johnson.
Bowen. You mentioned Bowen. Godspeed spoken. Johnson mentioned Bowen. And actually, I'm gonna start using this thing. Okay. Yeah, you actually see God Bespoken Johnson is down the street. He's on a corner, 3 or 4 blocks down from the train station, preaching to nobody apparently.
Nice.
You notice this guy looks like a bum.
Oh yeah, we
standing on the
never
street a few
followed up
blocks away.
on Bowen, that
Waving his
guy's
hands
friend that
and-
got killed.
Move on,
I wasn't as much
That
part
guy.
of that as you and McKeith were, so
McKeith!
But yeah,
Yes. What a vagrant he is.
it seems that if Bowen died the same way as the patients did, then it's
where was
There's
his
a
autopsy
very
done?
good link.
We should find out where his body was taken afterward because information dump. The
Because
last
all
word.
this
all the
stuff.
stuff about the you
As
guys
we're walking and I'm making
you hear
sure
this
no one's
too.
around.
Everything
Yeah.
that we discussed, the fact that all the last couple months there have been 5 deaths at the asylum. They were all vague cardiovascular deaths. The doctor is suspicious of them. Before that, it was normal. Everything seemed normal as far as death was coming out of it.
Yep.
If
The
this Bowen-
heart is the most insane piece of machinery on this earth.
Not the brain.
No! The heart.
If Bowen died around here, there'd be a police record of him.
To the station.
Did you want to talk to that guy?
No.
Johnson, God bespoke Johnson.
No. Alright.
And it sounded like it was around here, anyways.
What?
From the way you described it.
What?
Bespoke Johnson, his buddy, him and his buddy. It sounded.
He
like
was pretty vague on what happened. You weren't sure where.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing?
I just want to avoid him.
Going to the station, I suppose, to
Okay, to the police station. All right.
Station.
Yeah, Chief Constable White is in if you'd like to talk to him.
Sweet.
And you are a cop, and you've kind of established a
Yeah.
repertoire with him.
So yeah, I'll go talk to him.
Okay, he'll come out. He comes out to see you guys.
Wait, hold on. Where are we at right now?
You've gone to the
Police
police station. Are you
I'm
going
outside
in?
of it.
You're gonna.
But it's not a sheriff's station.
Dr. Huxtable
Ah.
doesn't come in. He doesn't come in.
Okay.
Ah.
He walks. Do you do that, or do you just?
No, he's just sitting outside doing it.
They didn't tell me where we were going.
Okay,
so
he makes a little shriek, and he just keeps walking down the street.
yeah.
Wait, he didn't see us go in?
No, he did. As soon as you guys turn to go in the police station, he goes, ah! And he just keeps walking.
Why?
You
I'll
don't
be out
know.
here when you're done.
He's making his way away from the police station.
Awesome.
So you go in, you ask for Chief Constable White.
I was
He,
beat really hard.
yeah.
That guy is.
Oh, that's right.
It was
the
pretty
hell out of me a
awful.
lot.
I
Um,
remember.
That was the
But-
first one he beat too. I don't even think he beat anybody else. I think he just beat me and then he was tired.
he also wouldn't let you use the bathroom. It was humiliating.
Yeah.
Constable White
What do you
comes
got?
out when he finds out that you're out there. He's like, ah, Officer, what the hell was your character's name?
Bridges.
Officer Bridges. How can I help you?
I was wondering if you had police records on
It's a little
a
dreary today. It's raining out, guys.
Bowen who died.
Dave Bowen?
What year?
Yes. Well, he died in. Wait, did I get a year from that guy? No. Okay.
It was real vague. Yeah, he
I
I
told us
believe
what
so.
happened. He says, yeah, Dave Bowen died last year. There's Ethelbert.
Is that Bowen?
No, that's white.
Oh, that's the head constable.
Yeah, that's Chief Constable Ethelbert White.
Nice.
He says, he was, it's one of the reasons that people in town are kind of a little nervous around Fragan. Seems about a year ago, Bowen related he'd watched Fragan in strange goings-on with the squatters up at Stonecrest Hill. When next Fragan came into town, Bowen was drunk, publicly confronted Fragan in the middle of James T. Blaine Street. He kind of just gestures in a certain direction. Fragan ignored him, but about a week later, Bowen was found a couple miles from town, apparently run over by a truck. Yeah, body was completely smashed. Since then, people don't say much about Fragan. But we all kind of know who probably did it.
Interesting. Thank you for the information.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, don't get into too much trouble. And
Oh,
he
I
heads
won't.
off back to his office. You come out, you find Huxtable's underneath an awning of a nearby shop. Like, not too far. You don't go very far, do you? Just
No.
the next couple buildings over.
Just sitting there shaking.
I was just about ready to come in for you all. I
You can make
just
psychology checks to see if you want to see if he's lying.
missed my
Which
shot.
he is. Aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you make it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's not being sincere when he says that. You can check that off, though.
It's already
Oh,
checked.
darn it.
I've already got spot
that's
persuaded
right,
and
that's right.
psychology checked for this time. Just gotta shoot at people now.
Luckily, I did too because I got an 84 out of 74. Come on.
So you didn't make it?
I already had a check though.
But you didn't make it just now? Oh, yeah. So apparently Dr. Huxtable was just about to come in. Maybe he saw something in the shop window. What are you guys doing?
So, Dr. Huxtable, what are you doing here?
Sure, Dr. Carl Huxtable.
Who's
And what was
Nice.
the question?
You've
Yes.
been knighted.
I have at the ripe old age of 80.
Do we need to kill all the hillbillies?
What? I don't know.
I do
Whatever
that
you want.
too.
It's a role-playing game.
At the ripe old age of, and then I just kind of like
He just lets
stare
you
off
go.
into
Yeah,
this.
what brings you here to this place?
No, Bridges and me go back to a party.
Back a little way.
About 2 weeks ago.
We saw
I know.
a conglomerate of shapes.
He pulled out the notebook.
I mean, I was told the story. I know what he
He
was.
consulted a notebook when he said that.
Yes, another mystery solved by me.
So, why are you here?
To solve another one.
All right.
So I think Fragan's trying to summon
Precisely!
another thing that will probably kill a bunch of people.
I'm wondering if he's been trying to have these people summon it, and therefore that is why they've been drowning. Their hearts have just been stopping. There's no scar tissue. They just stop living, simply.
Probably, because it
Either
sounded like the
that
thing
or-
sucks out your soul,
Or they are sacrifices.
which is apparently a real thing.
Yeah.
Bowen's death was different than the other ones, though, obviously.
But he might have been run over after.
No, I'm just saying that's definitely something
And where
that
was it
stands
again he
out.
was found? Out.
He just said a couple miles outside of town.
Well, there's definitely something going on with these Stonecrest Hill people, and I'm wondering why they aren't being sacrificed. Well, I guess it's just easy access to this.
We could ask those people.
I've heard they are not amiable.
True. But if we got information from them, it would be definitely helpful.
Well, we'd have to go in as them, not as other people. Not like trying to infiltrate them. No, it's not us, because there's only like.
Well, yeah,
What
no,
if-
we go in as
But
normal
we
people.
would have to be similar minded. We would have to be a similar dress and speak.
I have an idea. They know both of you, but they don't know me.
I don't think they know any of us.
So, I propose you turn me in as a loony.
So now we're talking about the asylum. See, we were talking about Silent Hill.
That's a kind
Squatters.
of good idea.
No, Stonecrest Hill. You said Silent Hill.
Because it's the hill, the Silent Shriek thing.
Oh, you
Silent Street Hill.
Okay, Silent Hill. You can call it that.
Well.
Oh God, Pyramid
I
Hill.
was talking about Stonecrest Hill.